Okay, we're going to continue this. Adding. Remember, adding's different than, it's totally different ball game than when you're multiplying. Multiplying, you extend it into one line. You start factoring everything. Okay. You can't extend it to one line, but I guess the good news is you don't have to factor the tops. Okay. Like 2 and 3, drop them. You do have to put parentheses on top if there's a plus or minus, if it's a polynomial. Okay, you got plus and minus, you need to try to factor that expression, because you have to come up with a common denominator. The only way that's even possible is if you factor x to the second plus 5x minus 24. So that's a trinomial. There's no x, there's no negative, then just be 1. So then I go to my t-table. Not seeing x, not seeing the negative, or I already did that. 1 times negative 24 is negative 24. So we're talking mismatch here. So positive, negative. Okay, and you have to add to try to get to the b, which is positive 5. 24 divided by 1 is 24. That's negative 23, don't stop. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Okay, well that's negative 5 the way I have it written now. To make it positive 5, it's easy. You don't keep dividing, you just go in and make the signs opposite. So negative 3, positive 8. They're still mismatched. Now they add to the right number. So my a is 1x to the second. Okay. Minus 3 plus 8, we know that that goes into x times x. And then 1, 1. So those can't be simplified. Take the 1's away. We just have x minus 3, x plus 8. So this is rewritten as this. Now we come over here, cross it out. We have minus, okay. We need to see if that's on bottom. We need to see if it can be factored. I don't think it can be. I mean, it'd just be GCF dots, and the GCF's 1, and the x doesn't have a power. So that pretty much tells me both these are a no, okay. So you didn't do anything with it. You don't replace it then. Common denominator, you got x minus 3. And you get x plus 8, and then another x minus 3. So x minus 3, I'm 1 to 1, so that's good. X plus 8, 1 to 0. You're trying to get them so they have 1. So I already have the 1 here. This is where I have to adjust. Don't forget you have to multiply it to the top as well. So now the denominators are exactly the same. Circle one of them. And then x minus 3 times x plus 8. Now that allows me then to simplify my tops, okay? So there's no multiplying here, it's just a 2. You need to distribute 3 here. $3x and 24. Go and slot it, go for it. I mean, that one's pretty obvious. So you put the x first, then the constant. So you got 3 for x, and then you add the 2 and the 24 to get 26. So that's what you have on top, 3x plus 26. Okay, I screwed this one up writing it. Cross that out and write 5x minus 20. Just do it, okay? Plus, and then 12 goes negative. Now the tops might not have to be factored, but you need to get parentheses if there's minus or plus operators. Okay. And then right there, that you would not put a parentheses around negative 12. There's no plus minus. Okay, now I go to the bottoms. There's no plus, there's no minus. I don't put it in a parentheses. I just bring it down, drop it. Okay. Got a minus on that one, you put it in parentheses, and since it's on bottom, you need to see if it factors, and I think that one will at least do something. You have 2 terms, so it'd be GCF. and then dops. Remember, I'm going to repeat this again, okay? You see what needs parentheses and what doesn't, okay? I mean, plus, minus, go in parentheses. The tops, you need to put parentheses around everything if it has plus and minus, okay? And you only need to factor the bottoms, because coming up with the common denominator only involves the bottoms, okay? So even though I put that in parentheses, I wouldn't even care if I was able to factor. It's on top, but this one I need to look at. 5 is the GCF. There's no x, there's no negative, but these are 5. So then you go divide by 5, and you get 1x minus 4. Bring that 5 down here, okay, and then cross it off. So you have the minus sign. You can take the 1 off the front. X doesn't even have a power, so that's a no. So you bring down the x minus 4. But this turns into this. So 5 and then x minus 4. So common denominators, you got 5, okay, put in the times, okay. Then you have outer x. You have 5 again. We already have a category for that. Then a parentheses of x minus 4. So 5, 1 to 1, check that. You're good. Outer x, 1 and 0, that doesn't count, it's in a parentheses. So 1. So we already have the 1 here, just put times x somewhere, then times x. The next minus 4, what do we got? Okay, 0 and 1. So we need a 1. We already have the 1 here. This is where we make the adjustment. Now the bottoms match, okay? They might be in different order, but they match. So I'll circle that one. Now you want your parentheses at the end, and then you need to multiply the outer. 5 times x is just 5x. Okay, now you do your thing, okay? Well, here you're going to have to do some FOIL. 1x times 1x. 1x times negative 4. Negative 4 times 1x, and then negative 4 times negative 4. So 1x to the second, negative 4x, negative 4x, and then 16. So we have x to the second, x, and 16. So x second is 1. These do not cancel. They add up to negative 8. They cancel if it's a positive and a negative, and then 16. Now, let's talk about this. There's no parentheses here, is there? No. Negative 12 times x is just negative 12x. Just bring that down. You really don't do anything. Okay, so you have 1, x, negative 8, negative 12 is negative 20, and then 16. 1x second minus 20x plus 16. Okay, next problem. Plus negative. So let's come at it from this perspective. Do you have to put a parentheses around the 8? No. How about the 5? No, there's no plus or minus within it. Okay. Any plus or minus within the 3x second? No. 4x, no, so no parentheses, okay? So no parentheses needed anywhere. Drop the tops. Bottoms, you don't even have parentheses, so you don't have to try to factor them. Just drop them. So no parentheses. Neither one of these 4 expressions, none of them, had a plus or minus within them. You still have to come up with your common denominator. So you have 3. Outer x, every x is going to be outer x here, 4, and then another outer x, which I've already have one. So 3, I'm at 1, 0, okay? So get them both to 1, times 3, times 3. Outer x, x second means there's 2 This means there's 1, so get them both so there's 2. So you can just take a second power to that x and you just brought in another x, okay? Then you times x up there, okay? Because if I times an x, that's x second, then x right there. 4, 0, 1, okay? You bring them both to 1. So you already have the 4 here, you bring it here. Now you have a denominator. You don't have any parentheses, but you need to multiply the outsides. 4 times 3 need to be multiplied. That's 12, and then the x second just sits there. Okay, 8 times 4, that's all you have there. That's 32. Right here you have negative 5 times 3. There's no distributing. None. No rainbows, okay? There's no parentheses. How could there be? So that'd be negative 15 with x. Okay, so it's just one product to find. So you got x and the constant. So you'd have negative 15 and then 32. So negative 15x plus 32. Okay, next problem. You see it, the plus sign's already there. Okay, on top, is there any need for a parentheses? No, because these are both just single terms. There's no plus or minus within either of them. No parentheses. Is there any need for a parentheses there? No, there's not. So you cross it out and just bring it down. You don't have to worry about factoring it. Same with this one. You do need to come up with your CD. Remember, parentheses go for expressions that have plus or minus. These are all just one single term. Okay, so you got 5. You have outer x. You have 6. And then you have outer x again. So 5, you're at 1 and then 0. So make it so they both have 1. That already has 1. There you go. Outer x, 1, 1. You're set. Check that. Okay. 6, 0, 1. Get it so they both have 1. That already has the 1. This is the one you need to adjust. Okay, now you have your common denominator. You don't have any parentheses, but you need to simplify that outside expression by taking the 6 times the 5 to make 30 and then putting x with it. Okay, now on the first one, no rainbows, no distributing, no FOIL. It's just simply 12 times 6, 72. 7 times 5, that's only one product to find, that's 35. Okay, 72 plus 35 is 107. Okay, next one. Might as well put CD because you have to match the denominators. Tops you don't factor, but you put parentheses, which you, if you have to, no, 5 is just a single term, and so is 35. Okay, now the bottoms, oh, you need a parentheses here. You need to then ask yourself, can I factor that since it's on bottom? So it's 2 terms, GCF DOPS. Not seeing the x, 1, and it's not a dot, so the plus, so really you cross that out and bring it down just as it is. You don't rewrite it. Well, this one has three separate terms, so I better be able to factor it or I'm in a whole heap of trouble. GCF table. Okay, no x, no negative, and then 1. So A, B, C. 1 times negative 10 is negative 10, so that's a mismatch. And you need to add to negative 3. So 1 and 10, that does not. Now you divide 10 by 2, it's 5. There's your negative 3. A is 1x to the second. So xx, and you can apply the 1 there. Don't believe either one of those can be simplified. Take the 1s off though. So this turns into x plus 2 times x minus 5. So replace this with this, and then you're ready to go. Okay, CD, well, you got x plus 2, x plus 2 again, then x minus 5. So x plus 2's, I'm at 1, 1, so you can check that. X minus 5, 0, and 1. So you get them both up to 1. So the one that had 0, you adjust. Okay, now you have your common denominator. And then you need to simplify the top now. Now the top's all 1. Okay, so on the top one, you got to distribute your 5 to your x and your 5 to your negative 5. So it's going to be 5x and negative 25. That fills in parentheses the first one. Then here it's just a 35, no multiplication necessary. 10, 5x plus 10. Now some of you people, if I was making you factor the top at the end, you would actually factor out 5. 5 would be your GCF, and you'd end up with a parentheses of x plus 2, which would cancel those. But since we're not doing that, you don't worry about it. Okay. Next. Make that plus, and just that one goes negative. Okay, so top. The question about the top is not whether we can factor. It's just about what would need a parentheses. Well, this one's got a plus. That one does not get a parentheses, so you just drop them. You don't even try to factor the tops. Denominators, you need to put parentheses if you need them. Then if you have parentheses, you see if they can be factored. Well, that has pluses, so that's a polynomial, meaning more than one term. So GCF table that. Okay, GCF would be 1, ABC. 1 times 3 is 3, positive. So it's a match of the signs. It has to add to positive 4, so you're going to want the match to be both positives. And then 3 divided by 1 is 3. Okay, A is 1x to the second. So positive 1, positive 3, put that as xx, and then 1, 1. Can't simplify either one of those, take the 1's off, and it's just x plus 1 times x plus 3. So this turns into this. Okay, now over here you need a parentheses, and that needs to be factored if possible. Oh, this one's possible because you have 2 terms. So GCF DOPS. GCF might be 1, okay? But when I look, I have a minus. I know I can take, if it's a 1 in front of the x, I know x seconds x times x, and 9's 3 by 3. So yeah, that needs to be rewritten. This is replaced with this. Okay, so this got replaced with this gets replaced with, and now you get your common denominator. So you got your x plus 1, you get your x plus 3, x plus 3 again, then x minus 3. Okay, so x plus 1, we have 1 and 0. So we need to get them so they have 1. That already has the 1. This one needs 1. Okay, x plus 3, 1, 1. You can check that one. x minus 3, 0, and 1. So you need to get them both so they have 1. So that already has the 1 on bottom. Put that there. Now your denominator is set. Okay. So you've got x plus 3, x minus 3, x plus 1. Okay, right here on the fraction, first fraction, that's a FOIL. 1x times 1x. 1x times negative 3. 2 times 1x. And 2 times negative 3. So it's 1x to the second, negative 3x, positive 2x, and negative 6. So you've got x second, x, constant, so 1 is your x second. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, then the negative 6. Now you also need to multiply this. This is just a distribution, not a FOIL. So negative 5x times the 1x times the 1. So it's negative 5x second, negative 5x. So x second, x, constant. So x second, 1 plus negative 5 is negative 4. Negative 1, negative 5 is negative 6. And then you have the negative 6 constant, so you can just write that down. Okay, now I'm going to do, this says number 1, but we're going to do it as an example. Okay. Tops, do you need parentheses? No. Okay, just drop them. Bottoms, you need parentheses, not on that one because there's no plus or minus. You just carry that one down. This one, you put a parentheses, and if it's on bottom, which that is, you need to see if it can factor. 2 terms, GCF, and dots. X on the end, yep. Negative in front, nope. 3 and 3 is 3x. So then you divide by 3x, and that's 1x plus 1. Yes, the x is canceled, but 3 divided by 3 is still 1. Now you bring down that 3x, that's going to be written. The plus, you write no. Take the 1 off the x and bring it down. So this is rewritten as this. 3x, x plus 1. Okay, common denominator. So on bottom you got 9. You have outer x. Then you have 3. Another outer x and x plus 1. So it's 4 things I need to account for. So 9, 1, and 0. So you need to leave that with the 1 and just times 9 times 9. Outer x, you have 2. That's because of the second power. And this one here is just a 1. That one doesn't count. Okay, so you need to get them so they have 2. Now, if I already have this one at 1, you can just put a second power, and then you can just put a second power on that one. Okay, that's like bringing a times x in. 3, 0, 1. Okay, so the 1 you want, and then you times the other one by 3. Then x plus 1, parentheses, 0, 1. So you better make the 1 so they both have 1. Now the common denominator, you're going to circle one of them. It doesn't matter which. It's the same stuff, but I put my parentheses x plus 1. Now outsides, you can simplify the outsides. So you can take 3 times 9, and that's 27, and put the x second. Then you're wondering, how do I times this? Well, the first thing you're going to do, because you know you have to distribute, but when you have a multiplication front, first you multiply that to make 21. Then you distribute 21 to 1x, 21 to 1. So it's going to be 21x and 21. Now there's no parentheses here, it's just 9x, put the 9 in front, 9x second. Okay, it's just x second times 9, 9x second. Okay, just one product. So you got x second, x constant, so 9, 21, and 21. Okay.